We are creatures of habit, and getting into habits is a good thing when learning a language. So, what if there was a particular time slot on Radio1 in Italy when you could be sure of something interesting to listen to? Well, interesting if you like these topics. The 6 a.m. slot in Italy. This may be too early for some European countries. It's 5 a.m. here. Yes, I get up at 5 a.m. and I hear these programs whilst getting breakfast ready and eating it. But it's late in the evening in the US and afternoons in Australia, just to give a couple of examples. And of course, if you sign on to the app, you'll be able to get them on catch up. But catch up probably won't build habits. So what will you hear? On regular weekdays, we're excluding all holiday periods when these may not be broadcast, you'll get a roundup of what the newspapers are saying. Yes, the newspapers. Remember those? It's called L'Edicola di Radio1. Edicola, in case you're interested, means newsstand. Another somewhat antiquated concept. The programme is just over half an hour, but has a music break and another on the half hour. A lot of the news at the moment is international, which we can blame on one person and one person only. But you will get national news as well, obviously. Because they're going from one newspaper to another, you'll hear some of the same things multiple times, which will help with comprehension, once you get used to the kind of vocabulary being used. I would say the speed isn't excessive for this because they're consulting the papers as they talk, so there are pauses and thinking time for the presenters, as well as for you. Saturday. This is one for the crime book lovers. The programme is Renoir I colori del giallo. I'm not sure if Renoir is some kind of wordplay. I mean, it sounds like Renoir, and it would fit with the second half, which is definitely a play on words, because painters use colours too. Anyway, in this 25-minute programme, they mainly discuss 2 books per week. There are excerpts from the book and they interview the authors. If you're really into these kinds of books, this could be a way of discovering Italian authors in your genre. But they don't just discuss Italian books, there are some international ones too. A couple of weeks back, at the time of writing this, which is way before it'll be posted, in amongst the noise of making breakfast, I heard the presenter say the name Licia, and my ears perked up. I have only heard that name related to one person, Licia Troisi, and yes, it was her. They were talking about a book that I didn't know had come out and that I've now put on my list for the future. No, not another one in that series, something different. This programme is a bit more difficult to understand, obviously, because they're interviewing people. But the same questions come up again and again. Like, what was your inspiration? Also, the narration of the excerpts can be pretty fast, and because you haven't got the context of the rest of the book, may be more difficult to understand. But you like a challenge, don't you? Don't you? Sundays. On Sundays, there's a 25-minute programme called Est-Ovest Tegerieri, the description of which is La finestra della Tegerieri sul Balcani e sull'Europa dell'Est. I believe Tegerieri stands for Telegiornale Regione. This is another news type programme where they talk about events in other countries in the Balkans and Eastern Europe, as per the description. Again, conversations are generally more difficult to understand, especially when people aren't in the studio. But this one will necessarily up your listening game, because you will have no idea what you're going to be faced with, especially if you don't live in Europe, where you may have heard some of these topics in your own language. There you go, a whole week of regular listening if you wish to take up the challenge. Links to RAIPlay Sound in the description.